What could possibly be so dirty on them women's rugs that she's got to vacuum them every day?
I wish there grew up a young woman around here who I could name was take inspiration out of certain rugs in a certain apartment I could mention.
How much cleaning does the house need, for Christ's sake?
Benny, just listen to her. Just listen.
Oh, God.
If you use the Lord's name just one more time.
Oh, Mama.
Precious salt, this girl.
Well, if the salt loses its savor.
Now that will do. I just ain't gonna have you around here reciting scriptures in vain. You hear me?
How did I manage to get on everybody's bad side just by merely walking into the room?
If you weren't so fresh.
Ruth, I'm 20 years old.
What time are you gonna be home from school today?
Kind of late. Madeline's gonna start my guitar lessons tonight.
Your what kind of lessons?
Guitar.
Oh, how come you don't take it in your mind to learn to play the guitar?
I just want to, that's all.
Lord, child, don't you know what to do with yourself? How long is it going to be before you get tired of this now? Like you got tired of that little play acting group you joined last year. And what was it the year before that, Ruth?
The horseback riding club that she paid $55 for. When her riding habits were so bad, she kept them in the closet.
Why you gotta split so from one thing to another, baby?
I just want to learn how to play the guitar. Is there anything wrong with that?
Ain't nobody trying to stop you. I just wonder sometimes why you gotta split from one thing to another all the time. You ain't never done nothing with all that camera equipment you brought home.
I don't split. I experiment with different forms of expression.
Like horseback riding?
People have to express themselves one way or another.
What is it you want to express?
Me! Don't worry, I don't expect you to understand.
Who you going out with tomorrow night anyway, honey?
George Murchison again.
Oh, you getting a little sweet on him.
You asked me to child ain't sweet on nobody but herself. Express yourself.
Oh, I like George all right, Mama. I mean, I like him enough to go out with him and stuff.
And what does that stuff mean?
Mind your own business.
Stop picking at her now, Ruth. Wait, what does it mean?
Oh, it just means that I couldn't ever really be serious about George. He's so shallow.
Shallow? What do you mean he's shallow? He's rich.
I know he's rich. He knows he's rich too.
Well, what other questions a man gotta have to satisfy you, little girl?
You wouldn't even begin to understand. Anybody who married Walter couldn't possibly understand.
Well, what kind of way is that to talk about your brother?
Brother's a flip, let's face it.
Ruth, what's a flip?
She thinks he's crazy. Not crazy. Brother isn't really crazy yet. He's just an elaborate neurotic.
Hush your mouth.
As for George, well, George looks good. He's got a beautiful car, takes me to nice places. And as my sister-in-law says, he's probably the richest boy I'll ever get to know. And sometimes they even like him. But if the youngers are sitting around waiting for their little Benny to tie up the family with the Murchisons, they are wasting their time.
You mean you wouldn't marry George Murchison if he asked you, sweet?
No.
That was pretty rich thing, honey. I knew you was odd.
No, I would not marry George if all I feel for him is what I feel now. Besides, George's family wouldn't like it very much.
Well, why not?
Oh, Mama. The Murchisons are honest-God, real, live, rich colored people. The only people in the world who are more snobbish than rich white people are rich colored people. I thought everybody knew that. I've met Mrs. Murchison. She's a saint.
You must not dislike people because they're well off, honey.
Why not? It makes just as much sense disliking people because they're poor, and people do that all the time.
Well, she'll get over this somehow.
Get over it. What are you talking about, Ruth? Listen, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm not worried about who I'm going to marry yet, if I get married.
If? Now, Benny.
Oh, I'll probably get married. But first I'm going to be a doctor, and George, for one, still thinks that's pretty funny. I couldn't be bothered with something like that. I'm going to be a doctor, and everybody around here better understand that.
Of course you're going to be a doctor, honey, God willing.
Oh, God doesn't have anything to do with it.
Benita, that was just unnecessary.
Well, neither is God. I get sick of hearing about God.
Benita!
I mean it. I'm just tired of hearing about God all the time. What has he got to do with anything? Does he pay tuition?
You about to get your fresh little jaw clapped.
That's what just she needs, all right?
Why? Why can't I say just everything that I want to, just like everybody else?
It don't sound nice for a young girl to say things like that. You wasn't brought up that way. Me and your father went to trouble to get you and your brother off to church every Sunday.
Mama, you don't understand. It's all a matter of ideas, and God is just one idea I don't accept. It's not like I'm going to go out and be a criminal and be immoral just because I don't believe in God. I don't even think about it. It's just that I get tired of him getting all the credit for the things that the human race does out of its own stubborn effort. There is no blasted God. There's only man, and he who makes miracles.
Now you repeat after me. In my house, there is still God. I said, in my mother's house, there is still God. Repeat it.
In my mother's house, there is still God.
There are some ideas we ain't gonna have in this house, not as long as I'm head of this family.
Yes, ma'am.
You think you're a woman, Minnie? But you're just a little girl. What you did as a child, so you deserve that.
I see. I also see that everybody thinks it's all right for Mama to be a tyrant, but all the tyranny in the world will never put a God in the heavens.
She said she was sorry.
My children, they frighten me, Ruth.
Oh, Luna, you got some good old children.
No, there's something comes down between me and them that don't let us understand each other, and I don't know what it is. One done almost lost his mind thinking about money all the time, the other done commits to talking things I can't seem to understand in no formal fashion. What is it that's changing, Ruth?
No, you're taking on too serious. You got some strong little children, and it takes a woman like you to understand that.
They all spirited, right? My children got to admit they got spirit. Benny and Walter like this little old plant that ain't never had enough sunshine or nothing. And look at it.
You love that old thing, don't you?
Well, I always want to be a garden like I used to see sometimes at the back of the houses down home. This plant's close as I ever got to having one. Lord knows, ain't nothing as dreary as that view from the window on a dreary day, is there? Why ain't you singing this morning, Ruth? Sing that No Ways Tired song that always lifts me up so. Well, Ruth,